Ladies and gentlemen, there's another side to it. He's got plenty of material to go by. Colin, Kosky, passive resistance.
If anyone's taking up their dancing lessons tonight, that is not the way to do it. Just want to give you a bit of a background on me. I'm probably the only international act here, apart from Jose the Crab, but I'm the only actual living person in the national act here. I'm from London, as you might hear, and I've been here a long time, but I just want to take you back the 40 odd years till I was at school. I just want to tell you a little bit about my background. I was brought up in a place called, has anyone seen a film called Green Street Hooligans? Well, my mum and dad had a shop in Green Street, and I'm Jewish. So we had a really a hectic schooling. So the first thing that happens when they go to school, like most kids, they go to school, and they're accused of like kicking each other, lying, beating up the teacher, you know, little things like that. Me, I was accused of murder. The first thing I was accused of, I mean the biggest crime that you could ever be accused of, is murder. They said, you murdered Jesus. I said, mate, I'm 10 years old. They said, well, the Jews say murdered Jesus. I said, well, who is this? So I went back to my mum and dad and I said, Mum, Dad, I don't know what they're talking about, but they're accusing me of murdering someone called Jesus. Is this true? Or do you know anything that I should know? Is there anything that you're keeping from me that I should actually know? They said, no, they just hate us. And that was 2,000 years ago. But even so, I was like looking around the garden, seeing if I could see some evidence. Or maybe some bones in a cupboard, I don't know. Anyway, I went back to school the next day and I said, my mum and dad said that was 2,000 years ago. And they said, well, we've only just heard about it now. So, to fit in, I wanted to fit in with the other kids. So I became a carol singer, singing carols at Christmas time. I would leave the Jesus bit out and just stick with the God bit. And it was great, and I went back to my dad and I said, well, I've got something to tell you, but I don't think you're going to like it. He said, oh, what is it? I said, well, I've joined the carol singers. He said, what? Nice Jewish boy, and you've joined the carol singers? I said, Dad, look what I made last night. He said, oh, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We used to play Cowboys and Indians when I was at school. It was a popular game. That was before PlayStation and all that stuff came out. Everyone, all the kids wanted to be cowboys. So we'd like, who were the Indians? The Jews. There was about 3 of us. So they came after us with their guns. And all we had was bows and arrows. So they're in the bang bangs, and we're in the ping, ping, ping. So we found the ping community in Red China, because there's about 2 million of them. But then the Indians came into the UK, and there was an influx of them, and then we thought, oh great, they're bound to want to be Indians. So next day we went to school, there's quite a lot of new Indians there. Kids said, right, we're playing Cowboys and Indians. Who wants to be the Cowboys? The Indians put their hands up. They wouldn't be the Indians. And we still had to run around hiding behind rocks and stuff like that. But our value is pretty good in the Middle East. Because they exchanged 1 Jew for 1,000 Palestinians. So I think that's a pretty good exchange. Imagine what his ego is like. So I looked up on Google. We've got another one for Jewish people. Google is for the Gentiles. We've got Juggle. So I googled it, my name in, Because you can see how much you're worth to your captors, your Palestinian captors, if you jiggle your name in, your age, and your military expertise, which isn't that much. I was in the Jewish Lads Brigade, but anyway. And it came up, it was surprisingly good. I was really amazed. I am worth 25 Palestinians, one very dodgy camel, two stringy goats, and a 2-day-old pulled. I'm going on to food now. Does anyone here like cooking? Anyone who's into cooking? Anyway, I've just been cooking for a couple of years, just at home, not professionally. That's why I'm in this uniform, because I don't really look like a chef. But it's an addictive thing, cooking. It's something that you want to do more and more of. Well, I do anyway. Once I start, I can't actually stop. And I just started off with like the gateway recipes, like boiling an egg, macaroni cheese, toad in the hole. Then I get onto the more complicated things like roast beef, roast potato, fish and chips. And then I get into the really heavy stuff, like the seared duck breast in a reduced balsamic vinegar, and potato florets on a bit of couscous. Oh, hang on, that's the other going. Bye.